Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for joining me for another 30-minute review show. Today we're going to be talking about the campaign Storm Dragons over on Kickstarter. I'm going to be diving into tabletop games, which I'm a fish out of water for tabletop games. If you are a listener of our podcast, you'll know that that's not one of my specialties, but I can still look at a campaign and think about what needs to be in there. So that conversation is coming up here in just a minute. But before we get to that, a couple things. If you are thinking about launching a crowdfunding campaign, you need to go over right now to woodshed.agency, and we've got a ton of resources there. I recommend going and checking out our blog. So you can go there and go to the blog section every Tuesday. We've got brand new content coming out that's going to help you, whether it's reward-based, equity-based, Facebook ads, little tips, how to build a team, all kinds of stuff in there for entrepreneurship. So make sure you go every Tuesday, check out that, sign up for our newsletter. That comes out all the time too. During the week, we are sending out a ton of information. Another big things, we've got a podcast episode. So make sure you go every Monday, every Thursday, we've got a new episode coming out. Today, we've got a great episode, or yesterday we had a great episode coming out called Lofty. Go check that out. We are talking to project creators while they're in the middle of a campaign. So again, tons and tons of information there. And then last but not least, we've got a great community going over on Discord. So if you hit the community thing off of Woodshed.agency, and again, I'm going to put that up here so you guys can have it here. It's Woodshed.agency. You can go there right now, sign up to our Discord community. We've got over 90 people having conversations around crowdfunding, running a business, all that sort of stuff. So lots and lots of valuable information. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to a 30-minute review show. Let's go ahead and jump right on in. Let's not waste any time. You're going to see me switch over to my my review show I did last week. But why don't we go ahead and show that off right now, and let's go review Storm Dragons. All right, here we go. All right, Carly. So why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell my listeners what you are currently raising money for over on Kickstarter?
Okay. I'm Carly Cornell. I'm with Dragon Phoenix Games. Here's my logo.
Nice.
Currently we have Storm Dragons on Kickstarter. It's a trick-taking card game for 2 to 6 players.
Okay.
It's mostly about dragons, fighting dragons, and lots of pretty dragon art, and the cards are they interact in ways that are sometimes surprising and fun for a group to play together. So that's
awesome.
That's what it's
awesome.
about.
All right. Well, why don't we jump in? So again, this is our 30-minute review show. My goal is to look at the page as if it's my first time, right? Trying to look at it how a backer might see it, and then offer some suggestions or just kind of just give you a sense of what's kind of going on in my mind as I'm going through it. So why don't we go ahead and jump right in? Let me share my screen here. Click on the right buttons and we'll jump in. All right. Hopefully that looks like your page, right? That's it, right?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
We did the first part correct. Cool.
Yeah,
All right. So
so
let's
far,
jump on in here. Cool. All right. All right. So let's kind of jump in here and go through it. So Storm Dragon. Gotcha. And I do believe now, is this the same one that, because I know you launched, you've had a couple campaigns. I think you had 4 or 5 campaigns. Is this the same one, just the relaunch? And it is of just the expansion? Was there a previous game that was funded somewhere?
No. It's basically the base game is 2 to 4 players,
Okay.
but we're offering it with an expansion deck that allows you to go to 6 players and player mats and, basically sort of an all-in sort of thing.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, and so the expansion pack it's like coming with this, like with the core game right now, right? So it's not something separate, right?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Why don't we watch the video here? Let's jump right into it. So you got 13 days to go. I mean, you've already hit your goal, so kudos on that. Congrats. 128 backers, so that's great. So obviously, what you guys are working on is doing what it's supposed to. So let's see if there are a little bit of improvements here. But let's quickly watch the video here. Let's see what we got.
Storm Dragons, a dragon battle card game for 2 to 6 players. Play a dragon at the head or the tail of your flight. Add storms. And then score the most points and challenge the other players to win the battle. And end up with the most dragons in your victory pile, and you win.
Okay. Got some epic music there in that one.
Yeah, it might be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. I think the video does what it's supposed to in terms of like checking off all the boxes. I would just get into a little bit around. I actually, for myself, I'm sitting back here. If you ask me the question, how do I play the game? I would still tell you I have no idea. So I wonder if there's just a little bit more. So again, I know the board game community on Kickstarter is such a tight-knit community and people kind of get this stuff. I am not that guy. I'm typically on the outside. I work a lot more in the tech and I buy a lot of stuff off Kickstarter. And my agency really doesn't even do much in board games. I have no idea what the game really is happening. So I wonder if to get to that sort of expanded audience, to start to get these campaigns to grow, how does a guy like me who has young kids and is trying to have gaming be a part of our world more, that to get off the devices, how do you get guys like me to understand a little bit more? And I think that's where sometimes I see in some of these the tabletop games, I just see people like they're in their own little world a little bit. And if you just expand out, if you think about a bullseye, it's like that next layer out is a guy like me. And I don't know what I just watched, frankly. Outside of a lot of dragons, I guess, if you win. So I wonder if there's a way to sort of walk it through a little bit more in these hero videos, so that I now would want to go, all right, well, let me scroll down a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think this is something across all board games. So I don't think you're alone in this. Hopefully that makes sense of like, how do you just massage it a little bit more with language or voiceover or gameplay, or, what does a card look like? That type of stuff. I think those things can be added to the video that just enhances it just a little bit more. So that's kind of my first impressions watching the video, but that was my first time through it. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it a little bit.
I think that's
Cool. And then next down, I mean, you're doing the right thing. This is sort of that next really, really important real estate is right here. My only thing on this is, and I'm looking at it at a MacBook Pro, is there a way that this is actually a little bit bigger? That this box maybe is a little bit more in your face? Or is there like a GIF of it where, maybe the cards are like spreading out or something, or the mats, like there's just something a little bit more here, because I feel like this is like as important as your hero image or as your video, that this image really makes me go, all right, I'm going to dive in. Let's go in. Right. So I think that this image, again, I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do if I pulled out a whole bunch of board games. But for this, it's like everything in this campaign page that I saw real quickly, it's like all of these like little things. So it's like, yeah, the image is fine. It's got the box, it's got the games, it's got the parts down here, it's got what you play at, all great. Could it be just a little bit bigger, more in your face, or a GIF of like stuff happening? Hard to say at this point for me. I don't really know, but like that's what I think is supposed to be happening in this sort of section here, and it's close. It's like just a little bit more. Okay. Let's keep scrolling. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, the artwork, by the way, really, really good. I've looked at a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't know if the artwork's real good. So those are always tough conversations. But I think, I don't think that is any sort of issue with this game. It looks like it's done really, really well. So kudos on that. How to play. So even here, I can already tell this looks like it's pretty detailed. And these, I would imagine they're like it's a coin, right? It's a physical coin. Man, could this be a gift that's just moving a little bit front, back, what I find, and I see this with a lot of games like this, is that the more visually that my eye stays on it, or the more my eye is getting caught on something, the more likely I keep scrolling, right? So trying to think about that sort of scroll factor and going, because right now I feel like these I'd like to see what these are a little bit more. And they're just sort of round things right now. And I know I could tell they're more, but I don't know if that image is starting to is getting it through. Cool. So I'm going to tell one more thing. So I think you've done again, you have all the elements. You've kind of got these two first plates, and then you were starting to get into how the game play and play through that sort of stuff. So before we get to that, I think there's two things that are missing right now. And this is to me, this is a Kickstarter design flaw in general. So one is, this is, you got this sort of next big above the fold hero section here. Mm-hmm. I think all this is great. A little bit of stuff in here could be worked. But right here, I usually love to have a pledge now button. Big button right here. And that pledge now is a hyperlink to the rewards. Because what's happening is people are scrolling here, but the rewards don't scroll with them. So I like to have a button here, and I would probably have another button right before you start getting into here. So again, let's just say they're like, all right, I'm in. This seems cool. Boom, click the button. And that button, like I said, hyperlinks to if you click a reward, like, to select the reward. So you go to this, you go to the next page, right? You grab that page, and that way it hyperlinks them. So you give them that opportunity to pledge right from this side of the window. Because again, it's just weird that this doesn't scroll with if you know what I mean.
If you've got a real long page, your pledges are gone by the time you get down to the
exactly.
bottom.
So I think it's just something always added in there. It's an easy button to put in there. And then think of it as like every time sort of a plate ends or a new section would start, I throw another one in. That's all. Okay. Simple thing.
I never thought of that, and I know about putting buttons on things.
yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Marketing.
Yep. It should be a big one. Cool. Let's jump into the next part here. So now we're getting into our stretch goals, right? So let's look here. So, and I think you adjusted these because I was reading an update, right? So these must have been a little bit higher, I'm assuming it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, and we are moving so fast that we need to be cautious about what we're handing out here.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wanted to give excitement even in a relatively modest campaign.
Yep, 100%. Yeah,
That's what we're
tiptoe.
doing here.
Yeah,
Is a relatively modest one.
yeah. No, I get. Yeah, it's all great.
But it looks like we hit that first that $5,000 goal today. I hope.
Yeah, I would expect.
Tomorrow.
I would expect it. So, yeah. So I guess I'm not going to scroll deeper. This seems undone to me. Like it seems like I don't know what this means. Like is there any examples of these things that you could show that would make me a little bit more excited than just add detail to some dragon art? Like that seems really, really vague, and I don't know if that would move the needle much for me. So I feel like, and I don't know because I don't. This isn't really a part of the stretch goals, right? This next section,
No.
right? So this is, I think this to me, and again, I know in the game world and everything I've worked on in games, stretch goals, and add-ons can be your, they can really make these campaigns and the games itself grow and get, more advanced. So I think again, right mindset, but like how could you show me custom insert gray in game box? Very vague to me. I don't know what that, I don't know what that means either. I guess I don't even really, I don't see. So for me, outside of the one funded, I don't know what any of this stuff means. So these have no value to me if I've gotten to this part in your page, and they may in your community, your world, but I think you can still a photo, a little bit more graphic, and these things might pop a little bit more, or encourage people to pledge a little bit more to get you to these stretch goals. So, and then I think from here we're moving into the actual like the cards and what they are. Correct? Is that
right?
Gotcha. So I would probably then, if let's say this got bigger, I'd probably have a pledge now button under my stretch goals again, something like that. But are these front, back, or are they only one-sided?
They have a common back.
Okay, same back on everything, right? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this one, I mean, I'll leave this one to you because I know that I look at so many of these tabletop games where they're doing this, like they've got all this design, right?
Mm-hmm.
This rubs me a little bit wrong because I'm always like, there's so much real estate being left out. And really, this is the meat, right? Like, I want to see this thing. I want to see this detail. I want to see this artwork. Yet I got space. And again, we're working with such small space in these pages, right? Like so I always, and I could probably point to like 10 of these, and I keep saying the same thing where I'm like, why are we doing this? And I don't know if it's just something like all tabletop people think this way, and I'm just the oddball out, which it might be. But I would want these cards to be so in my face because they're so important. And like the detail on this in my eye looks fantastic. And yet it's so small, So I don't know. Those are things that, again, and I know that there's like a theme to it and it's kind of laid out in this theme, but like, it's just so much real estate is lost. And I would imagine that this is what's selling it, not this, right?
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah.
So I just, those are, again, I would leave it. I don't think that this is making or breaking anything, but this is something that I just see where I'm like, it would be like me having the most amazing tech thing and then like having all this artwork around it and the heated jacket thing or something that's really small. You'd be like, what are you doing? That's what we're buying, So I don't know, something to think about, right? Just because again, I get it. I know the amount of work that went into all this stuff too, but I think this is the real meat right here. So, what is this? Previews?
Yeah.
These are links. Are these links to? What is? I guess I don't know what that is. What is a preview? What would these go to? I'm honestly, I don't even know. I don't know what they are.
The Tantrum House one is a video review.
Okay.
The other one is a written review, basically.
Okay, gotcha. Is there a way? So again, I guess this would be in a scenario where if I was really into tabletop games, I would know what these are. They're like that household of a name.
Yeah.
Okay.
These Tantrum House is a really big name. Casual Game Revolution is a medium big name.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is one where I have to bow out. Like that means again, that would mean nothing
Yeah.
to me.
Doesn't
So
mean so much to you, but I have actually had feedback from people saying, wow, you got a review
yeah,
from Tandem House? That's awesome.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, I guess so. I would only be looking at is the value of that is awesome. You know, that you guys got those, and it's the same thing with like the videos up above. It's that, is there a way to incorporate whatever this content is, this hyperlink, into this page, or like that? I guess it's a YouTube link. Is there a way to have a clip of it or something that's like, cool, we're featured in Tantrum House, and then like the clip is here, so that a guy like me is just like, you know, and again, I know I'm not the majority of the audience. I just wonder if there's a way to show that sort of, because it's social proof, right? Is what it's going after. Like,
right.
you know,
Sure.
this guy reviewed it and they loved it. So, you know, and then now think about this too. This would be like the worst thing to happen to you, right? Like they leave.
Expansive universe.
and now they're like literally they're gone next. So, cool. We got all our shipping, all good there. Oh yeah, I saw these social goals too. So, yep, you get to 100 hearts. Okay, so I think I'm going to say the same thing kind of here as well. Can I see what that would even look like? Like, does that move the needle to me? Like, would it be really awesome to see the art print on Will the Dragons on everyone's game? Like, is there like a mock-up of that? And again, I would also imagine too that I wonder, you know, I know people will read it after, but like, is there a way to get that to very quickly just, oh, that would be really cool. I'd love to have that, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I think the only thing I'm still missing is, I guess there's no like social sharing that you're encouraging, right? Well, I guess it's right here. If you can get to 600, but like there's no, oh, you're doing it here. Is that what you're doing? Business. What's this link do? Is this link going to the right thing? Oh, so it's opening up your business dot. That's weird. So maybe you have the social like make a Facebook logo button thing. So it's, and the same thing with the Board Game Geek, put their like a bigger logo and then hyperlink that. That could be something.
Okay.
Yeah, this is nice, but nobody's going to read that.
Oh,
nobody reads.
You know, that's for SEO. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, I know. We just nobody reads anything.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know, and it's only a moderately amusing story. So
yeah, cool. And let's just kind of quickly just go over here. I mean, all in all, I mean, you've checked off all the boxes. These are all small little things. You're doing good on the updates. You're keeping people updated. You're getting good comments. You know, I think, you know, clearly, you know, the board game world and Kickstarter. I think everything I'm talking about is just little. It's like all the little stuff. That just, these are little Titan things that might increase your conversion rate, you know, a couple %, and that could get you up to, you know, 10K, you know.
I'd take it. Totally.
Yeah. It's the small little things. And I think after that, you're probably looking at, in the next 13 days, you know, you'll probably have a little bit of a push that last week, you know, when you start getting around here. I think another thing, let me just real quick look here. Hopefully you're messaging these people who dropped their backers or their pledges and asking them why. Where'd you go?
I didn't know if that was okay to do, actually.
Like, whoa, what happened? You know? So this is intriguing. Yeah, I mean, that is, so basically all your backers have backed other campaigns. Is there any sort of, are you doing any partnerships with other campaigns that are maybe in the same sort of dragon-esque thing or theme, where you're sharing, hey, we'll post you post us type of stuff?
I haven't done that, but I did have one campaign reach out to me. They had 13 backers, so I wasn't in a huge hurry to work with them, but
yeah, you want to make it about even, you know. They need to have 100. They need to have 200. You need, you know, and you're not going to be, if you reach out to somebody with 18,000 backers, they're going to ignore you. So, you know,
exactly, which is, you know, same story on the other side.
Exactly. So I would just, you know, get on the Google searching or the Kickstarter searching and just find, hey, you know, board games in your ballpark, where it feels like it would be mutually beneficial. And, you know, everybody share a little bit. And again, it's a great backer update. It's a something to talk about. And if it's done correctly, obviously people who have backed other campaigns are coming in and going, okay, cool. Sometimes I'll get these and it's the opposite. So I'm like, listen, just keep hitting your friends and family. Like, just keep pounding that pavement. But, your pavement, it seems like it's going to be more other, people who backed other games and know this world and would come over.
Yeah.
So,
well,
cool.
One of the things about this, because this is a relaunch, you can see by the shape of my curve there, they always talk about bring your audience with you. And I brought the 120 who backed our first campaign in on the first day. I was kind of hoping what that would do is create this great big old bandwagon that everybody'd want to jump on. And it's made a bandwagon, but it's kind of a little one. And there's only little jumping going on.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the magic is.
I mean, it's in your bounce rate. It's in how many pledges you're averaging per day. For these campaigns, like when you get, because you're basically really in the what we would call the trough of despair right now, like the middle, right? We're like, oh my gosh, two or three. The campaigns, if you're doing 8 to 10 a day during this part, and then you have a big first couple of days, big last couple of days, more than likely what's happening here is that your initial crowd just really isn't big enough yet. Your email list, your social media following, your crowd is just not big enough, or, and maybe that investment hasn't been made yet to get 10,000 email addresses or whatever it is. Right. And at that point, maybe you're, if you're converting at, usually what we see in our opening emails on day 1 and 2 is between 4 to 6%. So again, if I have 10,000 emails, 20,000 emails at a 4%, conversion rate, and what did most people buy? $36?
Yeah.
So, work out that.
Yeah.
Yes. So work out that math and go, okay. And then what happens now, we start getting into just the math equation overall of like, most pages we find converted about 1%. Like if I send 10,000 people to the page, 1% of them will buy. How much are they buying? $36, $50, $100, whatever it might be. Right. Now, how much does it cost you to send 10,000 clicks? 10 cents, 30 cents, $1. Ooh, we got a major problem there. But you're working out that math, and then that's getting that sort of momentum. So what's happened on this campaign is I'll tell you right where probably you started to fall off is that $3 day on, because you probably drove some traffic that day and didn't get really any pledges. So your bounce rate probably skyrocketed. And then Kickstarter says, oh, let's push you down. And then let's hold on. I mean, that's my assumption. Let's actually look here real quick as to where your popularity dropped. So on the 26th, what day did you launch? The 19th? Or
wait. 18th.
18th. Okay. 18th. So
whatever that Tuesday was.
Yep. So you fell off quite a bit down to here. So within a few days, real close to what I'm talking about, Kickstarter just buried this campaign. Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, so what you're looking at is, where you're ranking. And the only way to combat that is at this point would be like outspending it, just, okay, I sent 10,000 clicks today and we got, 25 sales, and all of a sudden now Kickstarter goes, whoa. And then this goes back up to here. Right. But at that point too, that's when you go, well, wait a minute, listen, we're going to get a campaign. We're going to get it funded. We're going to go through our stretch goals, as long as hopefully the math makes sense on your stretch goals and you're not underwater by producing, these coins or, whatever it might be. Right. Hey, you came out of the gate, maybe you do 10 grand. Awesome. The next campaign gets easier because now you have these backers, you have this Rolodex, you have the data, it just gets easier and easier. So. Right.
Well, I mean, that's the point, is that we're looking for the first one. I mean, we've had a couple small campaigns that did fund, very small. One of them was in support of our, we have a YouTube activity that we convert other people's games into cooperative play.
Oh, cool.
And, so we have a little fan base of people who like that. And You know, we did a very small Kickstarter with that group to just buy some more games so that we
Sure.
could do some conversions.
Right.
That was our first big success on
Yeah.
Kickstarter. And then we did a small card game at the end of 2018 that was just teeny little group, and we produced domestically the cards. We printed them in the US, and you know, little teeny tiny Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And you know, so our crowd is bigger than it used to be, but it's still pretty small.
Yeah.
Still pretty small. And you know, I was really hoping that this would be the Kickstarter that get us over 200. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll tell you. Here's what I mean. If you're comfortable with it, I'd love to share this. I have a board game expert that we just brought on. He's just working on board games, and he's got a big success record. He's over in our Discord community as well. But I encourage you to kind of join, and I'm going to share this in the channel. And I think you know, I know he focuses a lot on, you know, you have like 2 reviews. He might have like 25 big reviews, right? Or, you know, just like so many of them, you know.
I absolutely, if I could afford it, I would do that. There's
Yeah.
no question. Because every one of the reviews brings an audience with it. But the problem is that the reviewers for Kickstarters always charge money.
Yep.
Once you have a game published, you can get free reviews. But as somebody who may or may not actually produce this game, you're going to pay for the preview. And the previews run from $200 for a written one to almost $1,000 for really big names. But you know, $500 or $600 for most of the video ones. And you know, it's just a question of how much budget do you have for that. You know, if I had the budget to do 15 of them, I would.
Right.
Absolutely, because I'd want their audience to come with them.
Yeah. So in scenarios like that too, I don't know if have you looked at Kickbooster at all in terms of giving them an affiliate link?
I don't know who Kickbooster is.
Check out Kickbooster. So our way around that is to do an affiliate program. So it integrates inside a Kickstarter. And what we would say, what we come back with is, you know what, you want $200? I'm going to pay you $75, but I'm going to give you this special link, and you're going to make 10% of every sale, 5%, whatever it is. That way there's a little bit of skin in the game for everybody, and we want them to really push this out and work on it. And it all tracks behind the scenes, and really it's a really powerful tool, something we use on every campaign because it's typically just free. People are just freely doing it, you know, for us. So so yeah, check out Kickbooster. Maybe something to look at. So
yeah, okay. Yeah,
awesome.
Heard of them, so
yeah, great. Yeah, and it's like, I think the tool is
that was one of my
$29 a month.
to join you today, was because
yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's why we do this. It's all about, hey, I am not, you know, board games and we tiptoe, you know, because I know it's a very tight community. It's great. I mean, and I love it too because, you know, it's showing the way of what other categories need to be doing. You guys are sharing other campaigns, you're participating, you're backing other stuff. Like it's what Kickstarter was in the beginning for me, like 10 years ago, where I was like, everybody was supporting stuff. Board games are still doing it, but tech is not doing it, and no art's not doing it. Everybody else is just like, give me my money. And it's not what I wanted Kickstarter to be. I wanted, we're all supporting our stuff, but it's just not that. But well, Carly, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I hope this was helpful, and I'm going to be watching from my end, and hopefully you can join us over on Discord. I'll send you a link, and Michael's over there. He's our board game guy. He may be able to help too with some suggestions, but hopefully it was worth it for you. I appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate the time. It was fun.
Awesome. Great. Well, good luck on the campaign, and I'll talk to you in the future. Bye now.
All right. Bye.